Welcome everyone to this tutorial video. So within this I'm going to be talking you guys through how to make a cage for your wire sculpture. We're going to do a bit of filling as well, and then after that I think my next video will probably be just the finishing touches and just refining your art piece. So within this I just want to make sure that you guys know there's two other videos before this. There's the framework. If you want to know how the skeleton is made for the sculpture before you get to the cage, watch that. And before that video, there's a slide presentation that I created where I talk you guys through everything you need to know to create a wire sculpture. That includes technique, resources, ideas, design, and everything like that. So, without further ado, let's get into this video and create the cage. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab some 0.5, just like this, and we're going to go around and create a cage. I'll show you what that sort of looks like. So we're going to time lapse now. Alright guys, so now that we have completed the cage, we're going to go ahead and start using our 0.5 wire, or 0.7 if you're using galvanized wire. And we're going to pop just one end, just like this, just a little bit, one strand into our vice clamp or your hobby vice clamp. We're going to grab this and we're going to make a 4 strand. Take this one to the end, like this. Cutting saw. I'm just going to do that twice. So now that we have 2 strands, we're going to go ahead and grab both ends. Like this. So we got 4 in here. I'm just going to put them off to the side because sometimes when you twist them they slip out of the clamp. So I just do it like this. You want to grab them. And we'll twist them nice and tight. You want to grab the wire like this. Oh great, you can see it there. You want to take it straight to the end. You want to tighten it up. Bend it just like this. And then we're going to twist this side up as well. Alright, so now that you have your 4-strand piece of wire, you're going to want to pass it through just the middle anywhere. And you want to go to about halfway. So I'm going to pass it right through. About here. And now we're going to use both sides separately. So we're just going to start with one side. I'm just going to pass it anywhere through the sculpture, doesn't matter too much. So we'll wrap it around. A lot of your wire ends up getting passed through the middle of the back. So it creates that indent in the back where it should be. So that's sort of tied on now, which is great. And so now I can just work with one side. Make sure this is sort of just sitting out of the way. Sometimes that can get a bit annoying if it's there. And we're just going to go around and sort of make, like we're still sort of creating the cage at this stage. Like it's sort of filling but also creating the cage still. So you're going on the outside of the sculpture more so at the moment. You can do another 4 strands and keep going, but what I like to do is go into 6 strands now, so it's a little bit thicker, and then really start to fill it out because I'm pretty happy with this shape. If you're not happy with the shape, make sure you can go back to 0.9 if you want. You can add a bit more of a layer, I guess, on top, or you can go 0.4 again and try get the shape like you want it. But now I'm going to go into 0.6, sorry, not 0.6, it's the same thickness but we're going to have 6 strands this time. and we're just going to fill the body out. Actually, we won't really touch the calves too much because we want to start doing this base, and the base will be added into the calves. So don't add too much to this area here because there's going to be a lot of wire added there a little bit later. Alright, so before we keep filling the body, we're going to add a bit of wire to the base. So I've got this 0.9 just attached here. You'll need more than what I've just put on. This is just some excess that I found on the ground that I haven't used up yet. So we're just going to go around the base and we're going to make it, I guess, as sturdy as possible. You don't need it super sturdy, like you don't need him standing up right away. But we're going to add a lot of wire. I recommend actually getting 2 strands of 0.9, possibly 4 if you want, and just kind of wrapping it around. I'll show you how I wrap it around. So, see you guys here. I'll probably get 4 strands or so, to be honest. Just sort of wrap it around like this. There's not much to it. Tie it up at the base. And then if you want, you kind of weave your way in and out of the circle like this. That's the best way to do it. Alright, so let's get some more 0.9 and then we'll add it to the base and we'll see how that looks. Alright, so I've added some wire to the base. I actually added, I think it was like 1.6, so this stuff is a lot thicker. I do recommend maybe actually using 1.2, a few strands of that. If not, if you only have 0.9 left, just use 4 strands of 0.9 and curl it around. You want to make it quite sort of loose but tight, not too loose that it's not holding any form. You'll add a lot more loose wire later on it'll look like it'll bulks it out. But this is, remember, just sort of like the cage, the framework, what holds it all together. So yeah, if you want to have a go and see if your guy stands up, just try find where he balances, bend things if you need to into place. He should be light enough that if you add enough wire here, which this isn't even that much, he should hold up. But as you know, we're going to add a lot more wire to him, so he's going to become a lot more heavy, and this eventually won't hold him. And so this is going to be a lot thicker. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of wire around here and the whole way up and through his calves. So yeah, there's a lot more to do. So we're going to go to some 0.5 and start filling out the body. And I'm going to show you what that looks like and how you should do that and sort of the technique with it. Alright. Okay, so I have this tied on now, and there's 2 strands that I'm going to work with. I'm going to work with one at a time, alright? Now before I'm going to work with my one, I'm just going to pull, just grab any, pull it right out, and notice this. This one up the top isn't as long, actually it's longer as these ones, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is going to grab the end of this, and we're just going to tighten it. We're going to pull hard, all the way down. We'll notice the same wire is right there, and we just want to push that wire through to the other side because that's what the other side needs. If that ever happens, you know what to do, because you want to make sure that all your wires are the same length. Alright, so I just put you guys in a time lapse. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and out of the sculpture, making sure that I start filling it out in all directions. You're not making it look pretty yet, you're just sort of bulking it out, giving it a bit of mass and getting the shape that you want. So I'll find a spot, I'll pass it through, I'll tighten it, this, and I'll grab it again, and I'll go around. An important thing to note that I think I have said before with weaving these sculptures is you don't want to pass around like this. You don't want to just keep going around. You want to be weaving it, as in passing it through the actual sculpture. First of all, that fills it out. Second of all, it looks a lot more natural, and it'll look better by the end. So, and it also keeps it being tight instead of having a loose sculpture. Alright, so we're doing really well at the moment. This is what your sculpture should look like if you're creating the same one as me. I might get 10 strands, and I'm just going to touch this back thing. I am not going to go on the body. The max I would ever do is 6 strands on the body. So I'll get 10 strands of 0.5 wire. I'm just going to circle around this. It's not about keeping the shape anymore for this. I think this is fairly sturdy, although adding the wire will make it stronger. I'll probably get 4 strands of 0.5 for the body from now on, just so I can really refine it and get the correct shape that I want, and just get all the detail that I need in the sculpture. So yeah, I'm gonna get 10 strands, do this now. Yeah, do it. Alright, so I just added 0.5, 4 strands of it to the body, and I've added 10 to 12 strands of 0.5 as well to the whole base and wrapped it around really nicely. So yeah, that's pretty much done. The body's pretty good, and I probably will add a bit more to that. Alright guys, so I'm going to create the weapon now. So I'm going to make a sword. So what I've done is I've gotten this little piece of framework that I did use for the actual body, the skeleton. And the first part of this will be the handle of the sword, and then the rest of it, it won't be this big. I'm going to untwist the wire and then make the sword out of that. So I'm just going to show you what that sort of looks like real quick. Might want it about that long. That looks pretty good to me. And again, I don't want it that long. Grab the top. Alright, so can you see that there? These are pretty straight, so I'll take it out now. This is what we have. Alright, so I've just played around and made this. So it's going to sit just at the back here. It's fairly big, but I'm pretty happy with the size. So how I made this was, you saw the framework that I did there, and I just sort of brought it along. If you have a really longer one, well honestly it depends what you're making, just go the whole way through. And then I used a few other thicker strands of wire just to sort of make sure it was pretty sturdy and strong. So I'm going to go over with 4 strands of 0.5 now, maybe even 6, and just wrap it around nicely. And then, once you wrap it around real nice, you want to grab a hammer, put it on the ground somewhere flat. I do it on the concrete ground here, and just smash it real flat. If there's loose ends, you grab your tool here and you just sort of twist them all up and tighten them. Alright, so let's make a weapon. Not all my sculptures' hands stay intact or look very nice, but I still try as best as I can to make them look alright. Alright, so let's add more to the base and hammer the body out. Alright guys, finishing up with this sculpture, what you want to do is just go around with a little hammer. You want to smooth out edges. You also want to get the little pliers, and where there's I guess loose strands, you want to grab your pliers and just twist them nice and tight. So there's a few on the face here I could probably twist tight. You just want to make sure that everything's in the right position and everything like that. So I'll go around and I'll do a bit of it. Alright guys, so this is what your sculpture should look like once it's done. It should be able to hold itself up nicely and be in a bit of an S shape. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any more questions about how I did certain things that maybe I didn't cover, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll make sure to get back to you about that. So yeah, this is how you make a wire sculpture. See you guys next time.